Hey, shalom, shalom. It's the brother Abba Yabba from the DC Church. Coming at you, giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Shem Shah, Shem Kadash, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shah being whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, Bashem meaning in the name, Rekal meaning spirit, Kadash meaning holy. Shanya Kabag, Gawala Rekabs, acclaimed now by Aith, meaning double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS in these times. And Shalom wa Barakum Labakarim Shiyasha Allah. Peace and blessings be upon the elect of the nation of Israel. And to the men out there that's pushing this word of sincerity and truth, to you I say Shalom wa Barakum my thumb. Peace and blessings be upon you. All right. And without further ado, I haven't really came up with a name for this topic, but basically what I'm going to be talking about is understanding why we can't, or it's not profitable for us to receive a high level of prosperity on this side of the earth, all right, or on this side of the kingdom. Well, I won't even say kingdom, or this side of life. So, you know, I was kind of encountered with the question of, you know, like why essentially why can't we be rich in this time, or why can't we receive, like, you know, enough resources for us to be comfortable in this place, okay? And what I kind of just went over today, you know, the Spirit just had me read Sirach, the 11th chapter, and I'm kind of just gonna bring out the same information, but I'm gonna start later on in the chapter just because, you know, I didn't want to make this too lengthy. So this is Sirach chapter 11, verse, I started 11. It says, there is one that laboreth and taketh pain and maketh haste and is so much the more behind. Okay. And that's really us. You know, we labor, we toil, we do whatever we do, but we're still behind. And the reason why is because the Heavenly Father had set up the realm that we're in for us to continuously serve him. Okay, everything that we do and all of what we are made up of is to continually serve the Heavenly Father. All right, the Lord will never ever give us the riches of this world entirely, because the riches of this world is completely and utterly corrupted. Okay, now what also tells you that is the book of Luke. Grab this real quick. That's just a quick one. There's Luke chapter 6. Slack it. Let me get to that page. Chapter 6, verse 24. It reads, well, actually, I started 23. It says, rejoice ye in that, Salah. Rejoice ye in that day and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is great in heaven. See, it says, for in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. So, actually, I started 22. It says, blessed are ye when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you from their company, and shall reproach you and cast you out, and cast out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake. Rejoice ye in that day and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is great in heaven. Okay, so if we receive glory in a lump sum of money of this kingdom, or whatever it is to make us comfortable in this kingdom, that would mean that we're not doing something right in the eyes of the Lord. The scriptures clearly state that the Lord he won't give you poverty nor riches. All right. So the Lord it puts you in a state to where you're going to consistently grow. Now, I gave the analogy to that same individual as, you know, our life, like we're like a plant, you know, and if you feed a plant too much water, it can die. Now, if you don't feed a plant enough water, it can also die because it doesn't have enough nutrients to suffice itself. But when you water that plant the correct way it's supposed to be watered, it will always grow. And it's the same thing for us. The Lord is not going to give us too much on our plate to where we're going to deny him. And he's not going to also give us too less on our plate to where we'd also deny him. Because I also gave the analogy of just, like just a hypothetical. Because when you think about it, Akim, if you were well off and you had a career to where you were making $300,000 and you had multiple estates and you had this house and that house, you had your private jet, a nice fancy ass boat or yacht, and you had a plethora of cars, you had your Tesla, BMW, a Benz, or what have you, right? If you had all those things based off the career that you had, right? And your career is bringing in a nice, beautiful amount of wealth, right? And it came time for you to take, they said it's either, you take the vaccine or you get fired. You would be compelled to take the vaccine or even take the chip because of the setup that you have. And you're not apt to lose that setup. So the Lord is not going to put too much on your plate to where that would be an issue for you. And if he did happen to do it, he knows your faith and he knows that you will give up anything for him. Okay? So anything that we're given and anything that we have as of right now, the Lord understands that we're given these things because at any time when he decides to take it away, we're going to be fine with that. All right? But that goes into why the Heavenly Father is not giving us a comfortable setting. There's no possible way we can be comfortable in captivity. All right. So verse 12, it says, again, there is another that is slow and hath need of help, wanting ability and full of poverty. Yet the eye of the Lord look upon him for good and set him up from his low estate. And that's us. OK, because it says full of poverty, yet the eye of the Lord look upon him for good. OK, and that's us. The Lord looks upon us for good, even though we are impoverished. All right. Because you got to understand. The reason why we're never going to be in a comfortable state as long as we're here in Babylon is because this is captivity. This captivity is needed for us to understand the blessing that we're about to receive. If the Lord never put us in this captivity, we wouldn't understand the full extent of the blessing that we're about to receive. How can you understand evil if you don't have good? How can you understand good if you don't have evil? Okay. So also, how can you understand what it is to truly be free if you've never been captive? Okay? It's the same concept. So us being in captivity and us being deprived of the things that we need, of our necessities, and being in a constant state to where we have faith is allowing us to grow tremendously in character. Okay? And whether you believe it or not, there's been so many times to where the Lord has blessed you, and so many times to where the Lord has allowed you to overcome whatever it is that you overcame. And that grew your spirit. Whether you've seen the byproduct or not, your spirit is growing in the conditions that you're in. Okay? So it says, back in verse 12, it says, yet the eye of the Lord looked upon him for good and set him up from his low estate. Okay, and that's what the Heavenly Father is going to do. There's going to come a time to where the Lord is going to set us up from our low estate. Now, verse 13, it says, and lifted up his head from misery, so that many that saw it marveled at him. Okay, and the place that we're in right now, we're in a land of misery, man. We're in a land of depression, but it's needed. It's needed because we need to go to the house of mourning. We need to be in the house of mourning. Because we have to mourn before we actually rejoice. All right. Verse 14, it says, prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Heavenly Father. Okay. So it's not hard. The Lord can put you in that situation. He can put you in a situation to where you have these goods. And he can also allow it to be sustained. Okay. But that is not what is set out for us, because if we are put in that predicament, we will not grow as men and sometimes even akwathim in this truth. Okay? but primarily men. So it goes to say wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the law are of the Heavenly Father. It says love and the way of good works are from him. Error and darkness had their beginning together with sinners, and evil shall wax old with them that glory therein. Okay? It says the gift of the Heavenly Father remaineth with the godly, and his favor bringeth prosperity forever. And part of the reason why we cannot receive those things is because the Lord is not going to give us prosperity in a time to where it's going to be temporal. Okay? And if he does, because don't get me wrong, the prosperity that we have right now is not really prosperity. Anything we receive as of right now is just for us to survive. Okay? And sometimes we get excess because, the Lord takes care of his prophets. All right? That's why he may set you up in a job to where you have, a decent amount of means or whatever it is. Okay? Nonetheless, I said that to say this, that the time where the Heavenly Father is going to give us full-on prosperity is when we do not have mortal flesh. Okay? The time where the Heavenly Father is going to give us that full prosperity is when we obtain the new flesh, because when he gives us the prosperity, it's going to be prosperity that we receive eternally. Okay? It's not going to be an end to our prosperity. All right? Verse 18, it says, there is that waxeth rich by his weariness and pinching, and this is the portion of his reward. Whereas he saith, I have found rest, and now will I eat continually of my goods, and yet he knoweth not what time shall come upon him, and that he must leave those things to others and die. And see, because the riches that are to be received on this earth can be transferred from one hand to another. Okay? And that's why the Lord is not allowing us to receive it, because the riches in this world is corrupt. Okay? Think about it. And I want to bring out this point too. All right? Which this kind of just furthers the point that Satan has rule over this world. This is Matthew chapter 4, verse 7. It says, Yahweh said unto him, it is written again that thou should not tempt the Heavenly Father thy power. Verse 8, it says again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and sheweth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. And he saith unto him, all these things will I give thee if thou wilt fall down and worship me. See? So in order for you to receive the glorification of this world and the riches of this world, you have to bow down to Satan. That's why the Lord is not allowing us to receive it on this side. Okay? Because in order for you to receive the riches in this world, you have to sacrifice yourself. Whether it's fully devoting yourself to obtaining a master's, a doctrine, whatever degree, whether it's fully devoting yourself to whatever form of crypto trading or whatever it is, you would have to devote yourself fully to those things in order to receive the full byproduct of that. Okay? And the thing is, what's so beautiful about that is different people sacrifice their lives for their careers to obtain and receive profit from their career. Now, the difference between us and them is that we're sacrificing our life to receive something far greater than this temporal career or whatever the fuck it is. We're sacrificing our lives to receive the kingdom of heaven, which is something that is never to be overturned again. Okay? Once we receive the kingdom of heaven, we're never going to go back to the condition that we're in right now. And that's why it's more profitable for us to to kind of prioritize anything that pertaineth to the kingdom of heaven, because in turns the Lord will still look out for you. Okay? It's not going to be the most comfortablest situation that you're going to be in, but the Lord will still provide for you. All right. And that's really what matters. So back to the book of Sirach, verse 20, it says, be steadfast in thy covenant and conversant therein, and wax old in thy work. See, it also says, marvel not at the works of a sinner. And that's really what causes us to really want the glory. It's because we see it on social media. We see certain things. We see these people in nice houses. We see some of these rappers with, or some of these high, rich, wealthy men with so many belongings and out there on whichever beach or whichever resort, drinking a mojito, whatever the fuck it is. And that kind of woos us. And that's like, we're like, damn, you know, we want that. But the scriptures tell you not to marvel at the works of a sinner, because those men, they have their consolation. And actually, let me finish reading that in Luke, the 6th chapter. So, this is Luke chapter 6, verse 24. It says, but woe unto you that are rich, for ye receive your consolation. Okay, so you received your reward. You received your prize if you're rich in this world. And the thing is, you cannot have the best of both worlds. It's either you're going to live peaceably and live rich in this world, or you're going to live peaceably and live rich in the next world. And it's not even peaceably in this world, man. Because you're subject to payments in this world. In the kingdom of heaven, when we receive power, we're not going to be subject to anything. We're going to be broken. We're not going to have any bounds. All right? We're going to be paid tributary. People are going to pay us tributary just because we're Israelites, man. And people are going to know, even to the lowest Israelite in the kingdom of heaven, the highest man on this earth can never compare to him, number one. And number two, every other nation is going to have to bow down to you every time they see you. They know not to look you in your eye. All right? They're going to know not to look you in your eye. Verse 25, it says, woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger, and woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall weep and mourn. You shall mourn and weep. Okay? So that's why the scriptures tell you not to marvel at the works of the sinner. Verse 21, it says, Sirach chapter 11, verse 21, it says, marvel not at the works of the sinner, but trust in the heavenly Father and abide in thy labor. For it is an easy thing in the sight of the heavenly Father on the sudden to make a poor man rich. The Lord could, easily, the Lord could just fuck with numbers and just put $7 billion in your account. It's possible. The Lord, you got to understand, the scripture says there is nothing impossible with the heavenly Father. The Lord can easily do that. The Lord can easily just put it on somebody who's rich to just donate you however much money, or just have a briefcase full of money in your closet. You wake up and you see it one day. It's easy for the Lord to make a poor man rich, but the Lord is not going to do that in our case, because you got to understand that the situations that you're going in is allowing you to grow exponentially in spirit. And once you grow in spirit, your character is going to follow. Okay? Verse 22, it says, the blessing of the Lord is in the reward of the godly. Suddenly he maketh his blessing to flourish. Say not, what profit is there of my service, and what good thing shall I have hereafter? Okay? Because you got to believe in the reward. Can't lose sight of the things that the Heavenly Father said that we're going to receive at the hand of us sacrificing our lives. All right? For this truth. Verse 24, it says, again, say not, I have enough and possess many things, and what evil can come to me hereafter. Okay? So, and those that do have possessions, don't think that the Lord can't just swipe that shit away from you. All right? Verse 25, it says, in the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction. And in the day of affliction, there is no remembrance of prosperity. All right. So when the Lord decides to take things away from you, and you're all high and mighty, you forget all about what it feels like to be in prosperity. Okay. And when you are in prosperity, you forget what it feels like to be afflicted. Okay. And that's why the Lord is not giving us too much to where our souls cannot handle. Okay. The Lord is not tempting you above what you can handle. That's why we are not in certain quote unquote comfortable situations. So verse 25, it says, in the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction. And in the day of affliction, there is no remembrance of prosperity. Verse 26, for it is an easy thing unto the heavenly Father in the day of death to reward a man according to his ways. The affliction of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure. It says, and in his end, his deeds shall be discovered. Okay? So, just to sum everything up, you know, the Lord gives you exactly what you need in order for the plant to be grown. Okay? And within us, we have faith, and our faith has to continuously grow. So therefore, we're put in certain predicaments, unpredictable predicaments, you know, to where we're just surviving day after day after day. Okay, up until Yahweh Shai comes, and we're gonna continuously live this way up until Yahweh Shai comes. It's madness, but it's beauty within the madness. Okay, because within it, there's so much that we're receiving within the way that we're living, which is uncomfortable. Okay, so that's why we can't receive, you know, the riches or the glory of this world. Not only is it corrupt, but it's also not conducive to spiritual growth, okay, and character development. And these are things that the Heavenly Father cares about more than the riches. You can get the riches after you developed as a character, after you understand more. But as of right now, we have to all go through this process as you know, as children of the Heavenly Father, in order to be grown as spiritual beings. Okay, and it's either you're gonna go through this process now, or you're gonna go through it through the fire. Okay, but I tell you this: the fire does not feel good. The physical fire does not feel good. I'd rather deal with the spiritual fire. Okay, and I also don't want to be a disappointment when I get in the kingdom of heaven. Okay, so with that, and that goes for Akim too. You know, you don't want to be a disappointment. You want to live an honorable life and die honorably if it happens to come. Okay. So with that, I give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kadash, Shen Yikabag, Avala Rakaza, Claim Naba Aith, Wa Shalom, Wa Barakum, Labakan, Shia Sha'ala, Shalom, Makyam.